Yeah, hey Mark. This week I got a check from a comedy club, totally bounce on me.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness. Bounce like no good. You
yeah,
did
yeah,
not
no
get
good,
paid.
no good. And
Did
I went
you
to the bank, and the bank teller was all shady about it, and it was like, "Hey, yeah, you know how I'm giving this check back to you? That means something." And then she literally said the word "wink." Like, oh, okay. So I'm supposed to take from this this conversation that there's not enough money in this account. She's trying to tell me that without actually
What?
telling me that.
Okay, I got questions.
Yeah.
Did the comedy club have the same bank as you? Or was
No,
it a
no, no,
check
no.
from a different bank?
It was a check from a different bank, so they have a different bank account than me. I've worked this club many, many
Okay.
times.
Yeah,
I
wait, well,
actually
let's focus on the banking for a second. We'll
Sure.
get to the club.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I just maybe I'm 100 years old. The last time I went to a bank with a check, there was no way for the bank to find out if the other bank had the funds. Is this like a new thing?
No, 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 no. So I didn't go to my bank. I went to the comedy club's bank.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
This
I
is
I
making more
yeah.
sense.
So the
Why
first thing I do,
why
I get
why?
the
'Cause
check.
you're out of town or
No, no, no.
is
This is all happening in town. Everything is happening in town. And it's got
why
a
don't
great
you go to
ending.
your own bank?
Well,
Just
I
to because you had a spidey sense about this one?
no, 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 no. So if I get a check, I do the picture. I take the
Yeah,
picture and I
right.
and I deposit it that way.
Amazing, by the way. Can you imagine being a comedian even 10 years ago? What a
Golly,
hassle it would have been?
I know. You're mailing people
I would
VHS
lose so
tapes
many
and
checks. I take a picture right there. Like, I have no shame. I take a
yeah,
picture right in front of everybody because
yeah,
I will lose the check. 9 times out of
exactly.
10, but by the time I get back home, the check has gone somewhere. I have no idea where it is.
Exactly. Exactly. So
But
I do the picture take check thing, and then like 2 days later, my bank says, "Hey, that money is not any good." And
mm,
so, oh, okay. Do I even have the check still? Like, I'm not even sure because it's been 2 days,
oh.
but I did, and I knew
Yeah, you are
exactly
supposed
what
to
it was.
hold on to it until it
Yeah.
clears. Yeah, okay.
So, but my check in my bank statement, it looked like it had cleared. It was a whole thing.
Right,
And so
right.
then I'm like, okay, let's go to this comedy club, their bank account, their bank. So I go to their
That's
bank, and they were like, no, 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 can't cash this. Wink, wink. And it was okay. That
so
was
then
weird.
I'm still interested in this banking thing. So
Yeah.
then you get like a little envelope with cash and then you drive to your bank and deposit it? Or do you have
Well,
like
if I get
behind
cash.
that map
So
there, is there a secret safe and you've just got tons of comedy cash?
well, if I had cash. No, so I'm taking the check to the other bank, not my
Yep, yep,
personal bank,
yep,
other bank,
yep.
and saying, "Hey, can you give me money for this?" And they said no. They said
Right. But if
no.
they
Wink,
had
wink.
given you money,
Yes,
American dollars,
American
hopefully,
dollars.
hopefully not change.
Then
Hopefully you're
I
getting
would,
dollars.
yeah, I would open up my banking app and I would take a picture of the bills. Um,
Amazing. What a great bank.
what a great bank! Yeah,
And then you light it on fire as a video is
yeah.
playing.
This is a video. Okay, he's got
This
money
is how we fight inflation, everybody.
then. But so I just want money in any form. I don't care at this point. So then I went to a different bank branch this morning, and
Of
they
the
of
comedy clubs
of the
bank.
comedy club of the
Okay.
comedy club's bank. And as soon as I gave them the check, I put the check there on the counter, and they were like, "Oh, you were working at this comedy club? Are you a comedian?" I'm like, "Yeah." And so they knew what was going on.
Okay.
And I had no idea that they were going to do this. I give them the check, and they said, and they call the comedy club owner on the phone, gets a hold of them instantly gets a hold of them, which I'm like, both of those things I didn't think was going to happen. Who answers when people call? That doesn't happen
Right.
anymore. And they were like, hey, they said Jacob is trying to cash this check, and like they don't know who Jacob is.
Right.
And they approve a transfer, and long story short, I get my money, no big deal. I mean,
Wow.
it was a very slight inconvenience. The comedy club's great. I love working there. They're good people, and I knew they
Awesome.
were good for it, so
All's
I
well that
wasn't
ends
worried
well.
at
What a
all.
terrific
Yeah, but it
end
was
to
that
that
my
story.
wife kept saying like, are they going under? Are they going under? Like, my wife is all sinister about it. I'm like, it's not that big of a deal.
No, they're running a lean checking account, probably.
Yeah, exactly. They got 2 accounts at the bank, and one of them has money, one of them doesn't. We all do that. It makes sense. So,
what do you think of the new background? I feel like our names need to go lower. They're a little too tight.
They are a little tight. Mine feels like it's really far to the right.
Well, what's happening is they're centered on the edges of the words below, and yours is long. You have a bigger name. You're a bigger comedian than I am, as we've established in past episodes.
Yeah.
So maybe, but mine is off center to the left, so it kind of balances. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll play with it.
So I saw this thing. You're gonna love this.
Okay.
I saw this thing. This guy sent out a poll to his Instagram followers, and it said, "What is one word that would describe every person from a particular state?" And the state for the word for Colorado, where you live, is high. That's the word that describes Colorado residents.
H-I-G-H.
H-I-G-H. Which
too bad it's not hi.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not.
By the way, can we talk about this for a second? I went for a run this morning, and some psychopath waved at me.
What?
A gentleman. He's coming down a ramp into the running area, and he waves, and so I give him a little just a little head nod as I'm trying to compute. Do I know this person? And I'm like, no, pretty sure I don't. But you can't be sure, right? The guy waved to you. Maybe you've seen me on stage. Maybe we knew each other 20 years ago. I don't know. So I keep running. About 20 minutes later, I'm coming up on a runner, and there's a runner coming towards us, and the runner in front of me waves at this girl, and the girl completely ignores him. He keeps going. The girl keeps going, and I realize that's that same guy. So I sprint past him, so I don't have to engage a conversation. Who does this? I started thinking about it. I'm like, it's kind of cute. Like, if I lived up in Breckenridge or something, like a small town, I feel like that's the kind of place where people wave. But in Denver, in a city, that's weird.
Yeah.
Who's doing that? Do they do that in Louisville?
Oh, there's a lot of waving. But I have a Denver story. I have a Denver story about this too. So I lived in Denver, and I'm a really big guy, right? I'm very, I'm overweight. Who cares?
We've established.
Yeah. I'm a huge guy. I mean, you see me, you think bear. It's a whole thing. And so I got into a habit of taking
Jake,
long walks.
In Colorado, bears aren't that big. We're black bears, and they're really not that large. So you gotta be,
You're saying I'm bigger than a bear. Okay.
I'm sure you're bigger than a black bear. I'm bigger than a black bear.
Wow.
And a grizzly, we're not nowhere close.
Okay.
But not all bears are huge. Just FYI.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. So I used to take long walks. I was a teacher. I would come home after school. I would take long walks, like an hour and a half long walk. And it was basically the same time every day. And I see the same old man in my neighborhood every day. And he would always give me this super enthusiastic thumbs up. Like, yeah, man. As if yeah, man, you're doing it. Look at you, you fat dude. You're walking. Congratulations. It was so patronizing. And
that is so fun. I hate to admit this, but I saw somebody running the other day, and my immediate my knee-jerk reaction in my head, my inner monologue was like, good for them.
Yeah.
And then a second later, I was like, that's not nice. You should not have thought that.
Yeah. But he sees me.
So you're not wrong to think that about the thumbs. I think that guy was probably
gives me that huge thumbs up, big smile. But the weird part is I'm going in early August, September, days where it's not that cold, not that it's maybe even a little bit warm. He would cool himself off by pulling his shirt over his belly. The top half of him was covered, but his belly was out.
No good.
He's giving me a weird thumbs up. What is happening right now?
Is he suntan lotioning that belly? Do we think?
Yeah. He was a very tan older gentleman.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
He's gonna get skin cancer, I think, in that belly. I went to the grocery store last night, and look at this product that I bought. I was looking for a Spindrift, which is a no calorie flavored seltzer thing.
Yeah.
And lime is delicious. It's incredible. Tastes like adult Sprite. You know, there's no sugar in it, and it tastes really good. It's very refreshing. I would have
Yeah.
hated it as a child, but as an
Yeah.
adult, it's fine. I bought some mango, and it was disgusting. I love mango. We're going to talk about mango later, but the mango Spindrift is gross. Anyways, so I go to King Soopers, and they don't have Spindrift for some reason.
Huh.
I found the Spindrift at Safeway, at whatever King Soopers I was. They didn't have it. So then as I'm checking out, by the checkout aisle, they had this Polar Seltzer, chili, lime, pineapple. So I'm like, oh, well, that's not so bad. Like the lime is going to be good.
Yeah.
The pineapple maybe, and the chili. I've actually had this like hot soda. It's like spicy soda water, and it's pretty good. So I'm like 2 out of 3. Hopefully hit the other ones. Whatever. I'll give them to friends or something. Anyway, so this just for this episode, I grabbed one out of the fridge. They are not chili, lime, or pineapple. It's chili, lime, pineapple. What kind of insane flavor is this? So we're gonna try it live and see what chili, lime, pineapple tastes like. I think it's gonna taste like this box is decorated. It looks like vomit. I guess people who are listening to this can't hear this. By the way, we're on everything now. We're on just about everything. We're on the Spotify. We're on the iTunes. We're on Pandora. We're on everywhere. So if you are listening to this or watching it, 5 stars, all that good stuff, please.
Absolutely. Well, let's taste it. I got to see the face. Let's see here.
Oh, that's unpleasant. Now, I guarantee you, I could give this to 100 people without telling them what flavor it is. Nobody's coming up with chili, lime, pineapple. I promise you that.
Oh my goodness. That's exactly what you want to hear when you take a drink of a new beverage. That's unpleasant. That's unpleasant.
I wonder if it has, no, it doesn't have fake sugar at least.
Yeah.
It almost tastes, that's how bad it tastes. It tastes like it has fake sugar in it.
Yeah.
How many cans do I have? 8 I got to get through. Okay. Speaking of soda.
Could be a long weekend.
I'm not a big caffeine guy. Don't drink a lot of soda, but every once in a while, as a special treat, I'll get a soda. And I don't know what it's like in Kentucky these days, but it's the wild, wild west out here in Colorado. You go to a fast casual place and a soda is, Price is Right. How much do you think a fountain soda is? Regular
I've seen them up there. Now, I don't know. I would gladly, if it's $2.99, so basically $3 or less, I'm okay with it.
You think that's reasonable? That's crazy. I mean, I'm old enough to remember 25-cent sodas, definitely 50-cent sodas. I remember 2 quarters for a soda can. Yeah. And then I'm sure you're getting a bigger one and it's fountain and whatever, but I'm seeing $4 sodas now. And this happened to me the other day. And tell me what you do in this situation. So in my head, I'm like, I'm going to get a soda. Then I see it's $4 and I'm like throwing around I can afford the extra $1 above the $3. I'm going to buy the $4 soda. Yeah. The soda is not good. Meaning it's like flat. It's not like completely flat, but it's not like effervescent. It's not like a good fountain soda, which normally would be like, whatever, it was $1. I need some kind of liquid to get through this lunch, but it was $4. Yeah. For that crappy Dr. Pepper. I was so upset. Yeah. I was infuriated. Yeah. Can you return a soda?
I think you have to.
I wish I would have. I didn't have the guts to, but I feel like I let down other people. Because they can probably change the CO2 tank or clean their soda lines or.
Yeah. And a lot of times when they fill it from the little wand deal, the bartender has the wand. Yeah. That is like the worst soda.
Yeah, those aren't the great. Those aren't the greatest.
I was working at a hotel years and years ago, and they were like, "Hey, there's this Baptist convention in town, and these are the weirdest people." Like one of the other coworkers is complaining about this. These are the weirdest people because they don't drink any alcohol, but they are all ordering mixers. They're all ordering mixers, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like they order Coke and stuff. I'm like, That's just a normal drink to people. Like that's not a mixer. You're an alcoholic. What's going on here? Like that's just a Coke. Some people just like Coke.
That's funny. That's
Not
funny.
everything's a mixer.
That's hilarious.
Oh.
So I think we teased this last week.
Yeah.
I'm curious if you ever and how you ever tell comics bad news, meaning
Ooh.
like, hey, that wasn't a good set, or
Yeah.
hey, you can't do this showcase, or I'm asking for two reasons. One, I recently was in a situation where I wanted to give some bad news to somebody, and similar to the soda situation, didn't have the guts to do it. Also, I want to start sniffing out. Like, I also want to be self-aware enough to know when somebody wants to give me bad news, but isn't really doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever been in a situation where you're like, look, man, you're just come back in 2 years. You're not funny enough, or you'll never be funny enough.
Yeah. Well, I don't run enough stuff. I mean, there's been some people have asked when I used to produce a lot of shows, they would ask to be on the show, and I would just say, okay, well, thanks for offering, and and just not say anything. That's interesting. Like, I think those are two different questions. One would be like, can I be on your show? And the real answer is no, you're not good enough. And a different scenario where somebody's walking off stage and you want to tell them you're bad. Right?
Yeah, I'm sure I can guarantee you've done something. Like, you seem like a very up and up person, but I bet you've been dishonest in your life, and you have like fist bumped somebody and said, good set. Have you done that? Be honest. And it wasn't a good set.
Yeah, probably.
I say to myself all the time, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And then I get like the person's coming off, they got a big smile, and I do it. Like, it's just like it's like muscle memory. And I'm like, immediately I regret it.
It's a thing. I mean, especially if you're doing a comedy club open mic where it's some good comedians and a lot of bad comedians.
Yeah.
And there's just this little, circuit that people are walking. They come off stage and they come right by you, and it's just so easy to be like, hey, good job, dude, and do the little fist bump.
I mean, it feels good. You're part of a community. You're trying to lift everybody up. I feel like maybe we should bring honesty back to comedy a little bit.
Well,
by the way,
I define what do I mean when I say good job, dude, right? I mean, you got on stage and you did it. Not that you're funny. I don't mean that you're funny.
Maybe I need to just change my verbiage, because I say good set.
Ooh, see, that's a lie.
Oh, maybe I should say good for you.
Good for you. Yeah. Hey, you're trying. Give them a good encouraging thumbs up and pull your belly out.
Yeah. If I see somebody large running down the path, I'll be like, good for you.
Yeah.
By the way, this soda, I'm getting closer to being able to describe it. Have you ever put a 9-volt battery on your tongue? That's like it's like the flat equivalent of like when it's dead, basically.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't have the juice. That's kind of what this tastes like.
Yeah.
That's
the thing. So I've been on a little bit of a health, not like a huge health kick, but I've been doing a little bit more keto stuff, a little bit less, just junk food, all that sort of stuff. And it's like those sorts of drinks, those 0 calorie, I would rather just have water. I mean, just water's better. It's just
you got to try this Spindrift Lime. We're not sponsored by them, but check it out. It's incredible.
Not yet.
It's good. It's very refreshing, especially summer. I don't like in the winter. Sure, water might be better, but in the summer when it's hot out, it feels refreshing. I like.
I want to go back to so like this guy with the what are the residents of the state? What's the word? So Colorado was high. Yeah. I want to tell you what Kentucky was. So Kentucky, where I live,
chicken.
The word that chicken. Yeah. No, the one word to describe the residents of Kentucky, and this is the only state with this word, is big.
Oh,
I'm like, perfect. This is perfect.
Is that true? I would think like Florida or Mississippi would be bigger than.
No, so Florida is crazy, and
like the word crazy.
The word is crazy.
I didn't mean the word. I meant if you're talking about like obesity, if we're going to get scientific here, I would think people are more overweight somewhere in the Southeast than Kentucky.
I mean, looking at this, it's the only state that is even close to like there's no words chubby, no
What's
large. No,
Hawaii? Is it Aloha?
Hawaii is relaxed,
Yeah.
relaxed in Hawaii. So
Hmm.
I mean, this is not scientific. It's just one guy
Sure.
asked his
I get it.
Instagram followers, but I think it's funny that the one state is big is Kentucky. So
It's not even that big a state. You think Texas would
no.
be big.
Yeah,
Things
yeah,
in Texas are big.
yeah. Texas is proud. Apparently,
Yes, they are. They're
you're
very
describing
proud.
the people in Texas as proud.
So this bad news thing, here's the situation it came up in for me, could be applicable to you. It was I had a gig and somebody wanted that same gig and they wanted the booker's information. Has that ever happened to you? Like somebody's like,
Yeah,
hey, can you tell me who the club owner is? How do you get on that show? Blah, blah, blah. And I was very like polite and basically, but didn't fully answer the question. I understood the question. I just wasn't comfortable giving the information. I was trying to protect the booker, basically, and which I think is the right thing to do. But the person was persistent. Like I'm talking like 6 emails, like, and started to get upset that I was dodging around the question. And so it kind of put me into a corner where I'm like, I either have to reveal this information or say, look, this is why I'm not comfortable giving this information.
Yeah, well, I mean, if the booker did not say to you, "Hey, feel free to give out my information to bad comedians," then I think that's a complete statement. I don't feel comfortable giving out the booker's information. If you want the booker's information, go to a show, find the booker,
Yeah.
find them on Facebook or whatever it is. There are avenues.
Yeah.
That I've never really done. Hey, have you done that a lot? Have you asked, hey, you got booked for a show. Can you give me that booker's information? I haven't really asked that.
Not exactly like that, but I will, like when I'm traveling, if I know, like, let's say I was coming to Kentucky, I would for sure reach out to you and I would just say, this is the run I'm doing. And it's like, I've kind of copycatted this from other comedians. I saw do it to me. And I think it's very professional and it's good. You send the whole, like, I'm going on this 10-day run. I'm headlining in St. Louis. I'm headlining in Wichita. I'm hosting in whatever. So I have dates. I'm obviously some level of accomplished. And I'm also, it's not like the Comedy Cellar. I'm headlining Billy Bob's Fried Chicken Shack, like it's.
No, I've seen you headline at a barbecue place. I think actually 2 barbecue places.
Moe's Original Barbecue. Shout out to them. Great barbecue.
That's great.
So you kind of get a sense, and I'm kind of communicating without shoving it down your throat. Like, these are the kinds of gigs I'm already doing. Here are the holes, and I'm going to be in Kentucky Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, in between geographically things. It makes sense for me to be there. Could you help me find anything? And sometimes you might take that and never reveal a booker to me and just say, I got you on a show Tuesday at 8 at this place and Wednesday at whatever at this place. Other times, some random person will email me, and this just happened to me. I'm driving up to Idaho for some shows. You go through Salt Lake City. I hit up a guy that, a friend, I would call him, that we met at a comedy festival. And I said, he lives in Salt Lake City now. And I said, I'm going to be in town in these dates. Is there anything you can help me with? And he said, email this email address. And so I sent my info to this email address. It was like, funnytimesproductions@gmail.com or whatever. That's not a real address.
Sure.
But then like 3 days later, I got an email from like Brian Simpson, like some random person. And they were like, hey, would you like to headline this show on the Saturday? I was trying, can you do half an hour? And I was like, great, I will. But I didn't respond right away. And they wrote back like, by the way, I got your info from so-and-so from Happy Valley Productions. We book a lot of stuff together. So it was a long way to say that. You asked me, do I ever ask people who books that? I mean, have you heard the joke about like, the classic, like, oh, I did this gig, Jake. Oh my gosh. It was a 12-hour drive one way. It took 14 hours on the way back. I got speeding tickets in both directions. I hit a dog on the way there. It was just, oh my God. I get there, 3 people show up to this gig. The check bounced. The sound system was terrible. And of course, the other comedian goes, who books that?
Who books that? Yeah, exactly.
So I think I probably have asked people who books that, but more generically, I definitely have asked people, hey, I'm trying to get into this area. Do you know any bookers in that area, or are you aware of any opportunities?
Yeah. That's a little. I think it's a little different. I mean, sometimes it strikes me as just envious. Like, you do a cool show, and I'm like, hey, you know who's funnier than you? Me. Like, why don't you give the booker my name, or you give me the booker's name, and then we'll get a real comedian in this place.
I
That's what
don't
it
think
feels
so.
like. Sometimes.
I've never felt.
Yeah.
I've never been in a situation where I was like, oh, I should be doing that instead of them.
Yeah.
I'm going to pursue this.
Yeah.
Usually, I mean, and the other thing is that in comedy, you can host, you can feature, you can headline, you do a guest spot.
Yeah.
When I'm asking for stage time, I'm usually quick to mention, and I'll put this in writing, I'm not above any spot.
Yeah.
Like, if I've never been to a room,
Mhm.
they don't owe me anything.
No.
There are 1,000 comedians as good as me that could get that stage time. And, if it's my first time there and I get a guest spot and I'm clearly the best comedian on the lineup, the next time I come through, I definitely haven't told this story on this pod, but I've told it on other pods. It's kind of an embarrassing story, but it's funny because it's embarrassing. I did this gig in this is perfect. So I'm in Florida. It's like a Monday or a Tuesday. It's an off night. And some other comedian, I reached out to them and said, hey, can you help me get any stage time on this Monday or Tuesday? And they're like, yeah, I lined up a gig for you. You're going to close out a show. It's at a club, like a dance club. They turn it into a comedy room. And you're closing out. There's no pay, but you can sell merch. Okay. So I drive like 2 hours to get to this show.
Yeah.
And this is not the joke, but it's going to sound like the joke. I come in, I got a box of my books. I got stickers. I got it's hot. It's in Florida. I got my stage shoes. I got my camera, my tripod. I got my sweatshirt I'm going to change into to get when I get on stage. I'm carrying all this stuff with a big bag. And I go up like 3 flights of stairs. And the room is killer. I'm there like an hour early. It's like a real like rock and roll club, 75 seater like this. This is going to be great. I'm all excited. I'm writing some jokes. Nobody's there for like 45 minutes. Finally, some people come in. I see what's obviously the show producer, and I walk over to introduce myself. I've never met him because the comedian lined this up. And as I start to say, hey, how much time am I doing? And introduce myself, I see on a pole an 8x11 piece of paper with about 25 names on it.
Ooh.
And immediately I'm like, oh, this is not good. And here I am. I'm holding everything because I had to move across the room to like I realized where the comics were going to be. And like I'm holding like a box of books.
Yeah.
And then I see my name. I'm third in the lineup. And he's like, nice to meet you. You're doing 4 minutes. And I'm like, oh my God. So anyways, the first 2 comics go up. They're terrible. And there's a host before them. And I get up and I do well. Okay. I do very well. I get off stage. I am immediately leaving. I was going to stick around and like sell merch, but I have like 2-hour drive. I have no interest in this anymore. I'm so upset.
1 more.
Exactly.
Needless,
the guy beelines over to me and he goes, hey, Mark, I'm so sorry. Next time you come through, we're going to I'll set up a special show for you.
Yeah.
And so the whole point is like, I'm not above any spot.
Sure.
And even if like your scenario of thinking I'm better than you or something like that, that's not, you could have featured at the show and maybe I will get the headline. Maybe I'll just be asked to do an unpaid guest spot. Who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah. for sure. Yeah,
And
no, I mean, I see that as the auditions, the that's what it is sometimes, and sometimes my wife, says like, is that really worth it to drive that far to do 4 minutes and just come right back? Like, and you're not even working on new stuff. You're just gonna try to show off. Like, yeah, but I mean, that's the way to actually get in this place. So
can you hear this construction noise?
I did hear a little bit of buzzing. Yeah, I didn't know
Okay,
what
yeah,
that
all right. It's a
was.
very large bee that's close to my microphone.
Yeah.
This is going to be unfortunate, I think, for a little bit.
Yeah.
So do you ever ask, like, I assume you do church gigs.
Yeah.
But there was a time you didn't do church gigs. Did you start immediately?
Mhm.
Like, do you ever run into somebody who does church gigs and are like, hey, have you done any good church gigs recently?
No, I haven't. Yeah, that's an interesting question.
Okay.
I have not. The network of church comedians is maybe not very strong.
Okay.
There's a few guys who I've seen do a couple of them here and there, but I don't know. I don't want to sound snobby, but I'm going to. So the the a lot of church comedians are funny guys, but not really comedians. And so I am coming from a comedy club background. I have done feature work. I've done headlining and hosting and put in the dues, and I have 1,000, 1,500 more performances than these guys. I mean, they have performed 30 times.
Huh.
And so some of these guys are
Are they like delivering a message that has a couple jokes in it,
not
or
really. Some of the guys are trying to be comedians, and the church world is just playing a little bit different, where they're so much more generous. They haven't been to a comedy club. They don't know that you're supposed to be laughing every 20 seconds.
right?
So these guys will tell these long rambling stories, and then have one punchline at the end and be like, I killed,
Right.
and we would say you bombed. But
Actually, I would say good set.
yes, that's right. That's right. You would lie to their face and say good set. And I would give them an encouraging thumbs up and show my belly.
I'm gonna start saying good for you with the thumbs up. How do I do the fist bump with a thumbs up?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. So that's some of these guys. Now that's not all of them. Some of them have kind of worked their way up, but most of my shows are not church shows, right? I'll do 7 a year church shows, which is obviously a lot more than 0.
Yeah.
But I will do 300 shows a year, and 7 of them will be church shows. So I'm doing a lot more non-church. But that would be interesting.
Do they pay well?
Yes, they pay very well.
Yeah. So I would think that it would be in your best interest
Yes.
if you're at some big event and you run into a church comedian,
Yes.
ask, and maybe they wouldn't want to tell you
Maybe.
because it's like competitive information.
Yeah.
But maybe you could trade, if they lived in Ohio,
Yep.
you'd be like, well, here's 3 churches in Kentucky you can do, because you can't do the same church every month or whatever.
No, and these churches are having one every 3 years. I mean, it is the way that they do these. Some of them have it once a year. There's a church in Aurora that I've done once a year for 3 years now. But every time it happens, I'm like, that's probably going to be the last one. But you never know.
They keep asking me back.
Keep asking me back.
What is it, like a dinner thing?
They've done it in different ways. One time they did a dinner and then have me. One time they did a lunch and then had me. So that was weird. And one time I was tasked with preaching Sunday morning and then Sunday evening having a show with no food involved. So we did it 3 different ways, but yeah. So
None of them have been stellar. Sounds like.
no, they've been fun. I like those
Okay.
people. But you never know if they're going to keep doing it.
Let me ask you something. Holiday parties.
Yeah.
What do you think the right amount of comedy is
Ooh.
in minutes
Mm,
at a holiday party?
probably 25.
Yeah, I had somebody ask for an hour,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to coach them down. I want the same amount of money, which
Yes.
is a weird
Yes.
thing,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to get them down from
Yeah.
I was thinking half an hour, and maybe it's a lot of money, so I'll probably bring an opener. So maybe like
Okay.
10-minute opener, like 7 to 10 minute opener. I do 20 to 25 to close, kind of thing.
Okay. Okay. Are you bringing an opener to like increase the perceived value? Is that what's going on?
Not only the perceived value, the actual value. I
Oh, okay.
think I'm a strong believer that even they call it the bullet, that opening spot.
Yeah.
You're really just there to fill time as people are like getting back from the bar and
Mm,
they're getting used to the cadence of jokes, and it
yeah.
really allows the closer to crush. Because
Yeah.
I book a lot of things where I will sell the comedy, and then I'll take that bullet and I'll hire an even more experienced comedian than me to headline.
Yeah.
And I'll do the 5 to 10 minutes up top, get everybody in a good mood. We're all
Yep.
happy.
Yep.
And then I bring in the closer, and that show is so much better than just letting the closer go out cold.
Interesting.
And
Yeah.
this actually, one little side note, the last closer I worked with asked me to come out afterwards
Mm,
to put a button on everything and just say, why don't you give it up for blah,
yep.
blah, blah. And they thought that was important. And I thought it was, it was nice, made it
Yep.
seem more professional or whatever. I'm not sure I would do that part all the time, but the opening part for sure.
That's an interesting thought. I need to consider that a little bit more often because
It does.
I tend to like, hey, you want 40 minutes? Okay, I'll be there 40
Yeah,
minutes.
that's most people's default.
Yeah.
I do think it's helpful for future work.
Mm,
Meaning, let's say that we're going to do a 30-minute show, but I'm only doing 20 minutes because somebody else is doing 10.
mm,
We can do that again in 6 months. I can do 20 different minutes
yes.
and just bring a different opener.
Yeah.
The other nice thing, like I know this from running shows myself, when I run a typical show, I'll have like 3 to 5 comedians on it. And I'll talk to a couple after a show and be like, who is your favorite comedian? And a husband and wife will name different comics
Yep.
almost every time.
Yep.
And so just having like a diversity of voices
Yeah. Yeah.
at the presentation or whatever you want to call it,
Interesting.
at the
Okay.
entertainment. Yeah. So you said, did you say 20, 25? What was your answer?
I said 25. I'm picturing a holiday party where they're doing things like giving out gifts, and they're like, here's a have the boss come up and say a few words, and,
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. And they're not seated in like a auditorium or they're
Yeah.
kind of seated at
It's
tables,
like a restaurant or a
like a
banquet
restaurant.
hall.
Yeah, like a restaurant back room. I'm picturing something like that, and I think 25 would probably.
Yeah. I was going to say 20 to 30. So that's perfect. That's good.
Make everybody have a good time. I had something happen this week, and I thought you would be interested in this. Is someone asked me out of the blue? I have never met this man to do a show on December 13th. Now
What day of the week is that?
That's a Saturday.
Okay. Okay.
We have talked about December 6th.
Uh-huh.
I think December 6th. Now I'm not booked for either of these
Okay.
dates. I'm not booked.
I'm locked in, by the way. I finally got the deposit. It was like a real up and down roller coaster to get the deposit on that December 6th. I'll probably regret it later.
Yeah,
I would say it's good money. It's not outstanding money.
Yeah. I have 0 bookings in December. So this is coming from a guy who I need to start booking some at least something.
Okay.
It's August now, and we've it's going to be a lucrative month. And so this guy says, "Hey, do you want to do this show? It's about an hour and a half away, so it's not that far. And do you want to do this show on December 13th, Saturday, December 13th? We'll give you $150 and you can sell merch." And my initial reaction is no. Like, I haven't told him anything yet. But
Do you know how many people?
no, I don't.
Okay.
But if it was November, if it was November, a Saturday in November, then I would say yes. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think these
Huh.
2 weekends in
Yeah,
December
yeah,
are
yeah.
going to be so.
Yeah, I think you gotta hold out. But
I'm kind of
what I would do, I would do a couple things. I'd say, look, that's below my rate, especially during holiday season, but I can work with you if
yeah,
you can work with me on the when. Can we
yes,
do it at
yeah, yeah,
4 p.m.? Because at
yeah,
4 p.m., an hour and a half away, you
right,
can still do an evening gig back home.
yeah,
Can you do it on Thursday? Can you do it? Does
yeah,
it have to be Saturday? That's kind of prime time for
yeah,
me. And also the number of people matters, because if you're selling merch to
that's
12
right.
people versus 1,200, I've definitely made more than I got paid in merch sales
Oh,
before.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so that's an interesting. I'm gonna have to. He actually didn't tell me the time. I just saw. I reread the things.
Well, there's a way to be positive. You just
Yeah,
say, I can absolutely do that at 4 p.m.
yeah, 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 exactly. I can absolutely do that at 4 p.m., but I cannot do it.
Just
Yeah,
pretend I mean, you just say you have to be
yeah,
back home by 7 or something
yeah,
like that.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, that's tricky. That's going to be a fun thing to track between now and December to
I think
see
so.
what happens.
I think so. I need to do a few things to get a couple more. I'm thinking about my marketing strategy. I'm thinking about some of those pieces of just trying to, treat it like a small business. And I've kind of gotten my wife on board as well as basically saying, hey, you and I together, we own a small business, and having that kind of mentality in the house. So
Yeah. Do you another thing that could happen, especially if there's 1,200 people there, if it's a big event, I like to say yes to even when I shouldn't say yes, because you never know when it's going to bring future work.
that's
So
right.
like I just did a show. This isn't the best example because I actually got paid very well, but it was a fundraiser event and there were like politicians in the crowd. It was crazy. It was actually kind of like, it was one of those things where you walk in and you're like, I did not get paid enough. Even though I was
Yes.
being paid very well, I was like, the budget for this is
Yep.
insane.
Yep.
Like this food is unreal.
Yeah.
It was way bigger than I expected. They had like a small symphony orchestra. They had a musical act. They had
Yeah.
a comedy. Anyways, but like 2 weeks later, this just happened a couple days ago. I got this random email from one of the organizers of that event written. I was in the CC line. It was written to another business owner and
Yeah.
said, hey, Mark Masters just did our comedy thing, brought another outstanding comedian with him. If you're ever going to do some kind of live entertainment, definitely reach out to Mark. I thought it was
Wow.
like the sweetest thing. I didn't ask for it at all. And what I imagine happened is they probably had coffee together or something and were like,
Yep.
hey, we're trying to
Yep.
do a holiday party. I don't know what we're going to do, blah, blah, blah. And the lady was like, well, I can make you an intro to this person if you want. They did a great job for me. So anyways, maybe you should say yes is the point of that.
Maybe. Well, you just want to beat me in dollar amount in December. You just want to say when we come back in January, you want to be like, how much did you make in December, Jake? And I made 2x that.
That's an interesting. We were talking last week about how do you measure making it.
Yeah.
I don't know if money is really the right measuring stick.
No, I mean it is an interesting. I think it's an interesting and overlooked measuring stick in the comedic world. I think a lot of comedians just plain don't ever think about it.
Well, and if you get big enough,
yeah,
you have agents to think about it.
that's
And
right.
you kind of don't even know what you're making on any particular gig, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. I've heard some stories where there's a guy who books shows here in Kentucky, and he gets big names. I mean, like for Kentucky, and he's doing these one-nighters, and he's booked me several times, and but I think I might have been the first comedian he booked. This was a couple of years ago, and so we were talking on the phone for a while, and he's just he shared way too much information.
Does he work with agents, or does he work directly with
He
comics?
works with agents, and he works with he works mostly with the agents.
Okay.
And he's a lawyer by trade, so he can speak their language.
Yeah.
And but he's just kind of thrown out, hey, I wanted to do this guy. What do you think about this guy? I'm like, well, I've worked with him, and I think he's really funny. I like him. Yeah, man, but he's way expensive. And he gives me the actual number. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Whoever that is, I bet you they would also do a show for $150, or even just beer tickets, depending on where they live. Not everybody's like that, but most of the big name comedians who live in like New York City or LA, in addition to making X dollars in flyover states, they will just drive to a club and just do a spot for nothing. Just because they got to work out material, they got to get stage time.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's part of it. That's the thing. That is a very interesting piece, because there's this job, this profession, or whatever we're calling it, art form, is one of the weirdest things, where you will do one thing for literally $0, and even take a hit on it. You go to these comedy festivals, you're going to take a hit. There's no way around it. You go to a comedy festival, it's going to cost you a couple $100.
Yeah.
But so I'm going to pay to submit, or even a comedy festival that you don't get into, you pay to submit. Hey, can I come do comedy for you at my own expense? And they tell you no. Like, no, you can't even come. Don't even show up. But at the same time, you'll do the exact same thing, talking into a microphone in front of an audience, and get paid huge amount.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, the money stuff is weird, especially like the way I think about it at my level. I'm still getting better. So to me, the stage time is the important thing. I'm trying to get into a club that's, not like a teeny tiny club, not a Comedy Cellar thing. And I'm trying to feature on a specific night because I'm on a road trip, and I happen to know the headliner very well who's there. And that headliner is they would like me to feature, but they got to navigate the club owner and whatever politics are going on there. And we got everything sorted out. And then that headliner's there for 2 nights, but I'm only available one of the nights. And so they made me an offer to feature the 2 nights. And I was like, no. I'm only available the one night. And now I think everything's falling apart. And I basically, I shouldn't say this on this public podcast, but I basically said, look, I will do it for no pay. If that moves the needle enough, I'm sure you can find somebody, pay them half the amount for the other night. I'll do it for no pay. Let me just come in and I want to be in front of that audience. I want to get better. I want to improve my relationship with this headliner. I want to, I'm in the area. I got nothing better to do anyways.
Yeah.
So,
and they were probably gonna write you a check that was gonna bounce anyway. So,
well, that's the other thing. It's not like it was going to be a lot of money, dude. Yeah. It's not that many $4 flat Dr. Peppers.
That's right.
that you can purchase.
Yeah.
Jake, I said I was going to talk about mangoes.
Yes,
I don't know if it's mango season. I don't know what's going on. I got a bunch of mangoes the other day, and I waited just the right amount of time. Yeah. And boom, boom, boom. 3 days in a row, I had perfect mangoes.
Okay.
I don't think there is anything better in life than a good, like, just perfect mango. And I got a new way of eating. Do you eat mangoes ever?
I have never. I don't know if I could tell you what color a mango is.
Ah, buddy, I'm gonna change your life. Get a mango, buddy. Get a mango, and I'll tell you offline. People don't need to know my secret way of eating mango, but basically, you deconstruct it so that you can spoon out of half of it, and it's divine. The problem with mangoes is that they are pretty difficult to eat sometimes, but when they are the right ripeness, man, they are delicious.
Yeah.
It is fruit season. Like peaches are in season in Colorado right now.
Yeah.
It's
People go crazy for those Palisade peaches.
Palisade peaches. I went to a peach festival. Shout out to Lafayette, Colorado, this weekend or last weekend. Crazy. It actually made me feel bad about me as a comedy producer, because like I run one of the bigger comedy festivals in the state of Colorado.
Yeah.
I got nothing on the Lafayette Peach Festival. There were thousands of people there. Thousands.
Yeah.
It was insane. There had to have been maybe 100 vendors that stretched like a mile. It was crazy. I mean, I hope that it's like 30, 50 years old. It's probably been running forever. If I found out that was like their second year, I will jump off a bridge. But
you're comparing things that don't really. You're comparing peaches and comedy. You know, that's apples and oranges, right?
Shouldn't comedy be easier than peaches?
Yeah, you want to sit here. I mean, who doesn't want to have a good time? You know, like peach. A peach has got a lot of calories. It's got a pit. You know, it's.
I had peach lemonade, I had peach crisp, and I had a peach pizza.
Oh my goodness.
So good.
That sounds like an abomination. A peach pizza.
I'll tell you what's an abomination. I'm going to cover up the brand name, but chili lime pineapple. It's like battery acid that's not so acidic anymore. I really don't know what it does. Maybe I can taste the pineapple, like if the pineapple was rotten or something.
Yeah.
So I was in a grocery store, different grocery store trip this week, and I wear prescription sunglasses. Do you have prescription sunglasses?
No.
What are those glasses you got there? Are they for reading? What's going on?
No, I wear them all the time. Ever since I was in kindergarten, I got glasses and never looked back.
Okay.
And the thing is I look good in glasses. People are like,
how do you wear sunglasses when you're driving? Do you just put sunglasses over them?
So I have done the clip-on, the little clip-on guys that just and then you flip up and flip down, you know.
Okay.
But I read this thing, and I'm probably ridiculous, but I read this thing that says bright sunlight is good for you for like depression symptoms and motivation things. And so I read that, and then I'm like, I'm not going to wear sunglasses anymore. So I haven't worn sunglasses in years.
Jake, they're not talking about into your pupils.
I've been staring at the sun. I've never been happier.
You goof. You goof. You're going to hurt your eyes. You're going to injure your eyes. I'm telling you, sunlight is very good for you. It makes you better. Just being aware of it around you. You can fake it with like fake lights. Seasonal affective disorder is a real thing.
At the time I was teaching, and I swear, man, for years, probably 6-7 years, my classroom was in the basement. I had no windows all day, every day for years. And I was like, I'm going to need to get a little sunlight. So.
Yeah. But you should wear sunglasses. Anyways, I'm in the grocery store, and I didn't have my regular glasses. I only had my prescription sunglasses. And real Sophie's choice. First off, grocery stores underrated for their complexity.
Yeah.
How many items do you think a grocery store has?
Thousands. I mean, how many thousands?
Over under 50,000.
Yeah, I would say over 50,000.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, it's crazy. And then you got to go find something obscure like Cocoa Nibs.
Yeah.
What section is that going to be in? And the place is enormous. You got to wander all around. So I got my prescription sunglasses on, which I'm not blind as a bat without them, but I can't see as well.
Yeah.
But I put them on, and they're dark, and I'm inside the grocery store. So it's a real like battle. I'm trying to find some obscure item, and it's like, can I not see distance, or is it everything dark? You know,
that's a tough one.
Nuts.
And that's how you ended up with that terrible seltzer one.
That's how it was a different trip, but pretty much. It's a disappointing grocery store visit. There was something else I was looking for yesterday, and it just wasn't at that grocery store.
Yeah. My wife does the grocery pickup. Like she'll order it all
huge since the pandemic. Huge,
and then
huge
drive to the
time
store
saver.
to put it in the back of her car.
Use
And
not only time saver, money saver.
yeah,
Because you don't do any impulse
no
buying.
impulse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she ends up spending more. I don't know. I would have to, it'd be interesting to like check one or the other, but she'll come home and be like, oh, I got this. I got this. I'm like, we don't need what
So sometimes, let's say she's getting 20 items.
Yeah.
They won't have like 2 of them.
Yep.
Does she run into the store right then, or does she make a separate visit later, or does she just, hey, it wasn't meant to be?
Yeah, it wasn't meant to be. Yeah. Just like she'll go there, she'll put it in the back of the car, and then what is it? What is that's what it is.
Jake, Thanksgiving dinner this year, no turkey. Sorry about that.
Every once in a while, they'll
just mixers.
Yeah, just mixers. It'll be too late to put in like one of these pickup orders, or all of the pickup order slots are taken, or whatever it is.
Yeah,
and she'll be like, so I'm like, we'll just go to the grocery store, just get what you need. Nah, we'll just do it tomorrow.
Raw. You can't raw dog the grocery store.
And then I've never done a pickup order at the grocery store. So if I'm going to the grocery store, I'm going inside.
You're going in.
And my wife hates it because I'm reading the back of the labels and I'm comparing, and I'm like, I'm doing all this nonsense. So
that's crazy.
Get this
all right, what else we got on our list? You got any other stories for this week?
Oh yeah. So I was thinking about this. I was thinking about writing an article. And
okay.
Not that I'm an expert, but an article on crowd work tips, on tips to do crowd work. So here's the story: is on Wednesday of this week, I was at a comedy club, and the comedy club has an open mic, and the open mic is usually pretty good. It's not Comedy Works New Talent Night good, but it's better than Rise. So it's in between the two.
Rise is pretty good. If you get up early.
Yeah, Rise isn't bad, but this one's better. Okay. And so it's a lot of engaged.
Let me just. People won't know what Rise is in Denver, Colorado. It's an improv club that also does stand-up comedy and has a Wednesday night.
It's good, and we like it. I like it. I'm sure you like it. But the open mic is a B. Comedy Works New Talent Night is A+. This is probably an A minus in that range. And so it's a good. And I was the special guest, so I'm doing 15 minutes at the end. Now the comedians are open micers. They're not good, so they're all bombing, again and again and again. Nobody's really doing well, but they're not any good, so they're not going to be able to do well. And my thought was, I want to tell maybe 1 or 2 jokes right at the top, and then do like 12 minutes of crowd work because I get 15, and then
hold on. This is an open mic, and you have a 15-minute spot.
I was the special guest at the end.
Oh, okay.
So I was the only one that got 15 minutes.
Okay.
And so my goal was to kind of get them on my side a little bit, introduce me. If I'm going to start making fun of them, I need to make fun of myself a couple of times first, and then go after them and do a bunch of crowd work, and then end with my new closing bit, which is basically a 3-minute, 3-minute jokes. And so that was my goal. And so I did that, and it went very, very well. I enjoyed it. The crowd enjoyed it. Part of it was the bar was set real low, so it was easy to jump over. But I enjoyed it, and then it got me thinking about, like, okay, what sort of crowd work tips would I give somebody who wants to, and there's probably two audiences. One would be like, I want to do it for the very first time, and another one who, like, hey, I want to improve it. And
we just say tip number 1, don't do it.
I love it. I would do. I was so jazzed because I'm like, this was so much fun. The crowd loved it. I loved it. I was like, I don't even want to do a bit again in my life. All I want to do is crowd work. That's the kind of. I started an improv, right? So crowd work is this siren song that I have been resisting for years.
Yeah.
And so I'm a big fan.
What was the best? Can you remember the best, like, callback, overlap, synergy kind of thing?
Yeah, there was a
that's when it's kind of magic.
Yeah, there was a guy who was there, and he had his arms inside of his shirt, and he was like, looked like he was asleep. And I kept
the old Bernie Sanders.
I kept coming back to him. And there was these brothers that were accountants, And so I kept, there was this other guy who was a good looking guy, but he was chewing tobacco and spitting it into a beer can or a beer bottle, and he looked ridiculous doing that. But I think my favorite was there's this a guy with a big burly guy. Both him and his wife weren't wearing sleeves, so I commented on that. Like, but big burly, he had a huge beard. I mean, I've got a beard, but his beard was huge. And I said, hey, what do you do for a living? He says he just retired. And I'm like, where did you retire from? Hogwarts? Place erupted, because he looked just like Hagrid. That was the joke.
Nice.
But so I'm assuming you're not a crowd work guy.
If I'm doing an hour, you have to do some. You got to get to know the audience a little bit. Yeah. And if I'm hosting, this is like you go to New York City and it's all crowd work when they're hosting. Yeah. Comedy Works kind of beats you into material only.
Yeah.
So there are different schools of thought, but I think crowd work is important when you're hosting. Like when I'm hosting my own produced shows, you got 100 strangers there. I want them to know each other. And this isn't my original thought. I don't know where it came from, but they're not an audience, a collective audience, until you do your job. Get them to know each other. There's some kind of inside jokes that are going on, and it gives the other comedians stuff to do as well.
Yeah, and it's also there's electricity is in the room when there's everyone starts paying a lot closer attention when you keep calling on people because they're like, when am I getting called on?
Here's something that I've recently realized is that there's a version of crowd work where you don't ask questions. Yeah. So it all has to be looks like stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
But you you could say you look like a dentist and make jokes about dentistry.
That's right.
And I'm leaning toward, this is a new realization for me. Mm-hmm. Here's what happened. I was at a club. I was hosting. I'm hosting all weekend at a club, different club. But this recently happened where the second night, the headliner came to all the comedians like a minute before the show started and said, hey, would you guys be cool not doing any crowd work tonight?
Yep.
And I said, yeah, no problem. But I was hosting. So it was like a weird thing where when I host is usually like if I'm featuring, I never do crowd work. Yeah. If I'm middling, guest spot, never do crowd work. If I'm doing an hour, I'll probably do some crowd work.
Yeah.
But at shorter lengths, I'm not going to do it. But if I'm hosting, even in a 7-minute set, I'll get to know the audience. Are you local? Are you traveling? Where are you from? That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But so I did do some crowd work jokes without asking any questions.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if you call that crowd work. It's more like reading the room, I guess.
Yeah.
Reading the audience.
Yeah.
I think that's valuable.
Oh yeah. And it looks, to a non-comedian, it probably looks like crowd work, but we know it's not real in the sense of who cares if it's real or not.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the headliner might in some situations object to that. Because let's say somebody has a face tattoo, they're going to want to go to that well.
That's right.
At some point.
Yeah.
But really it was less than a minute just to kind of I don't know. I feel like you do need to address the room somewhat. Because I'm sure you've seen, in fact, this week at Comedy Works, the host, I didn't think did a particularly great job. And they went immediately into material. And I felt like by the time they got off stage, the audience was no closer to being a warm audience than when they got onto stage. And I think the problem was that it was just all material.
Yeah, they didn't give that chance to turn a group or a group of individuals into one unit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we got to wrap this up. One more time, we're on all the platforms. Let me shout them out real quick. We're on Apple Podcasts. Can you believe it? We're on Spotify. I guess Apple Podcasts is iTunes. We are on Spotify. That's brand new this week. We're on the Podcast Index, the Blueberry Podcast Directory, iHeartRadio, I think is new this week. Pandora is definitely new this week. Amazon Music is new this week. Shout out to our Bezos heads. We're still on Deezer and Podchaser, whatever those are. And we're obviously on YouTube. If you're listening to us, you can see our gorgeous faces on YouTube. Like,
You can
subscribe.
also see my very complex and interesting background, and then Mark's background.
Yeah, usually a different background every week. What else? You can find me at markmasters.co. If you want to book me, there's a contact form there. And Mountain Fresh Comedy Festival is coming up in October. mfcomedy.com. Oh, we didn't even talk about this. We'll do it next week. I've had such bad luck with venues recently, Jake, but just yesterday I had one venue say yes. And then later than the same day, I had a second venue say yes.
Heck
Brand
yes.
new venues for my
Wow.
comedy shows. Very
Love it.
excited.
Love it.
You want to sign
Yeah,
off?
yeah. BigJakeComedy.com and at Big Jake Hovis on the old socials.
All right. Leave a comment or something. I'll read the comments and type into them. Everybody have a great week. We'll see you next time.